I just attempted to make rice in the microwave. It didn't turn out so well. Seriously. Not joking. It's really quite frightening.
Studentessa, universitaria, triste e solitaria, nella tua stanzetta umida. Ripassi bene la lezione di filosofia e la mattina sei...
So I figured out why I like foreign language pop music so much. It has all the great things about pop music. It's fun, and it's simple, and it's outrageously catchy. But I can't hear how silly and vapid the lyrics are, because it's in Italian or German or Russian or whatever. It's great, it's fabulous, because I hate English pop music. So I wanted to talk about one of the things that motivated me to start learning German, or at least to learn some foreign language. Because for a long time I was sort of like, oh, I didn't learn a second language as a child, I missed the window, I'm never going to be able to learn anything well enough to actually use it, you know, I'm never actually going to be able to master a language, I'm just too old and stupid. So the thing that really changed that was the story of one Joseph Conrad. You guys aren't English majors, you might not know who that is. I'll get to that in a second. First of all, you need to know that Joseph Conrad, his name is actually Josef Theodor Konrad Korzeniowski. That was probably very mispronounced. But yes, he was Polish. He didn't become fluent in English until he was in his early 20s. And he went on to be considered one of the greatest English prose writers ever. He wrote Heart of Darkness, and lots of other very famous things. In light of that, I don't really think that it's an unreasonable goal for me to be at least bilingual. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be a famous German prose writer, but I think I can probably learn to speak it just fine. So, life, in general. I'm still just filling out job applications and trying to find work. Es ist sehr langweilig. It's very boring. But first of all, I would like to talk about shoe throwing. The throwing of shoes. As a protest. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in like 2008, somebody chucked a shoe at George Bush and he dodged it like a ninja. In a lot of places in the world, and not just the Arab world, but a lot of places in the world, showing the sole of your shoe or hitting something with a shoe is quite an insult. Because, you know, shoes, they're on the ground, they're on the feet, they're kind of dirty. It's basically just saying that like you're dirty and you're lower than the ground. Like, I'm hitting you with this shoe. I started researching this because a little while ago I read a news article about the man who he sort of supervised the development of like Chinese internet censorship and the Great Firewall of China and all that. You know, keeps people from accessing information either because it's against the government or because it doesn't go with their values or whatever. Just lots of information is not available because of it. He was speaking at a university and he got hit with a shoe. And I was a little bit pleased. I mean, if he had died or something, I would have been like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. But he just got hit with the shoe, and I think he kind of deserved it. Because internet censorship to that level it's just not okay. Like, that got me thinking about people that I would like to throw shoes at, and like, what kind of shoes I would throw at them. People who start wars, like, big military shoes with big metal buckles, just yeah. And like when Obama announced that he decided that looking for more oil in America was okay, I just wanted to be like, take off my Birkenstock and yeah. Harold Camping, the man who keeps predicting that the world is going to end at various dates, like I understand that you really do believe this, but stop it. He just needs to be hit with like a slipper, like one of the ones with the rubber soles that you can go out and get the paper in. Just one of those, not too hard. Just hit you with a slipper. Basically, this is just me wishing that political and social problems could be solved by throwing shoes. If we could just walk over to Gaddafi and be like, I'm gonna chuck a boot at you, and you're gonna stop it. So now I am actually going to bore you with some talk about politics. First of all, I thought American politics were bad. Oh my goodness. Italian politics. Especially with their current president, Berlusconi. Like, it's like scandal after scandal, and he just says terrible things about people and places, and oh my gosh. Russian politics are so much more chill, and I'm sorry that everything I say about Russian politics turns into a Russian climate joke, because my original opening for that was that things are heating up in Russian politics. I don't know that much about the Russian political system. I know that they have a president and a prime minister, and the president is the most powerful and all that stuff. But the next presidential election is 10 months away, and they don't have any candidates. No one has announced that they're running. There are only two people that might, and they're both just taking their time on making this announcement. That's crazy to me because our next presidential election is over a year away, and we're already scrambling and panicking over who's gonna run. But not so in Russia. You guys know that I love example sentences from language learning books because there are just some really great, ridiculous ones. My favorite one from learning Spanish translated to, "Do you eat sandwiches in the class?" It's like, why would you ask anyone that? I'm not one of those people who thinks that German is like an inherently angry sounding language. I think that's ridiculous to say about any language. But the imperative form, all of the sentences they give me, I want to say them angrily. Like, "Get nach Haus, Kinder!" Like, alright, that does sound a little angry. I guess you could say it like, "Get nach Haus, Kinder!" Video turned out really long. I hope it didn't bore you too much. I know I talked a lot about politics. So anyway, auf Wiedersehen und bis später.